Hey, what is going on the YouTube? This is the Gaming Guy, and today I am going to be covering or going over autofill. In the past I've gone over this multiple times, but today I'm just going to be as concise as possible, make it as short and easy as possible and go through it with as much information in a short amount of time, because I just don't really want to drag this out anymore because it is very simple. I'm also going to be going over mobile autofill, which is just going to be for the iPhone. If I find anything to do with the Android, then I'll link that in the comments section or in the description. But yeah, let's get straight into this. I was meant to go through this at the start of the season, but I didn't. So yeah, I thought, why not now go through it? Okay, so one of the most basic steps for this just work in general is that you need to have a Google or Gmail account. Also, obviously, because it is Chrome autofill in this case, and in most cases it's the autofill that I use, it needs to be on the Google Chrome browser. So the way that I will go through this, as you can see at near the top of the browser, there are going to be these three dots for Google Chrome. These three dots say customize and control Google Chrome. What you want to do is click on them and you get a large amount of options, but what we are going to do is click onto settings. Now obviously I will be blurring things for this. I did try the whole making a new account to try and do things, but then that account synced up with my main account anyway, so it just did not help. So easy ways to get onto the Chrome autofill is either to click autofill, which is at the side, or obviously straight away at the top is one of the top options where you can just click addresses and more, which is what we want to be going on to. Under this section I would always, as I do recommend, the whole save and fill addresses. This is just so that in my mind I feel that when you go back onto something, if you've already checked out on it, your details should either be there already or you can just double click and make them appear. So all we're going to do is just click add, and let's just type in some details, I suppose is the best way to do it. Let's go for this. Going to take the Supreme London postcode, go like that, and we are going to just save it. So as you can see, it is there. The best way for me to go through this is obviously to go on to Supreme. You are also able to autofill payment methods. As you can see here, it says save payment methods will appear here and you can add them through your Google account. I do not have a payment method on here, as I just do that manually. Now obviously we're on to Supreme. I'm just going to click on the top left item and I'm just going to go to the checkout page. Now the thing here for me is that my details will already be here because I auto-filled them at the start of the season and just clicked Supreme's little save address for future orders, and as of that they will keep appearing. I have obviously my recording from the start of the season when I went onto this and my details were not there, which I will throw on screen. That's just to show you that obviously your details might not appear all of the time and that you'll have to go through and add them. So because my details were already there, now what I've gone and done is just open incognito tab. This is just because your details cannot really auto-save to an incognito tab. As you can see, they are not there. But what will happen is that you can still use autofill. So in this case, all I'm going to do is click. I've got my mouse plugged in, which isn't helpful. So all I'm going to do is just click once I get this cable out, and then what will happen is you'll get the options for the addresses that you have under the saved addresses, which we literally did about 2 minutes ago. So as you see, there are my top ones and everything, and then if I go down to the bottom one, it will add in the details and fill them just like that. So when I click on it, there they are, and they appear in such an easy manner and such an easy way. Now on top of this, obviously you can also have the email address, telephone number and everything else added to it. But yeah, that pretty much covers it. It's as simple as that, and what you want to do is obviously save address for future orders. Then I don't recommend this, but what you can do is fill in some fake card details, click the process payment a couple of times, and then when you go back onto this screen not incognito, your details should be saved on the left side. But in most cases, or in some cases, you do have to check out an item. But yeah, that covers that side, and now we are going to move on to the mobile aspect. Okay, so obviously I have my phone open and now I am going to be going through the Safari autofill method. So obviously what you want to start off with is just by clicking onto the settings and then scrolling down. I've still got to update my phone to the newest iOS and everything, so yeah, I'm way far behind. So scroll down all the way to Safari and we're just going to click onto that, and then obviously right at the top of general is going to be autofill. When you click onto that, if you haven't already set this up, it will either be blank or it will have auto selected your details but nothing past that. So if I click onto my info, it's going to bring up my contact, which I'll obviously just cover up, but when I click onto that like so, I can scroll down and select me. Now this is going to select me and choose the details that I have set under myself. So obviously now we want to go onto contacts and onto ourselves because we have selected our own details, which is nice and simple to just go onto that. We pick ourselves, and then under this, which will be completely blurred, it will normally just have your name, email and phone number. What you can do though is hit edit and scroll on to add address, and then all you need to do is just fill in the address. Well, your address pretty much is the easiest way to go about it. Once you've done this, you can then obviously go back onto autofill and it will have you selected or your details selected. And then obviously for save credit card or for adding a credit card, you can go onto it, add it and do the exact same thing. The one thing they don't do is save your CVV, which you'll need to do yourself. A couple of other things that might come up is that it might want to do Face ID or some sort of scanning, which is almost using like the Apple Pay in order to add your card details or in order to add the last 4 digits of your card, but that can just be turned off in settings, which is quite simple. But now what we're going to do is go on to Supreme. So yeah, now that we're on Supreme, we're going to select the exact same item here, and obviously it is blank, so all I'm going to do is click, if I will, and do autofill contact, pick my contact, and like that my details are going to appear. Now one of the things that I did notice which did irritate me about this is that sometimes if you have more than one sort of line to the address, it leaves this address 3 blank. What you can do is create a new profile for Supreme, or when you're going to cop Supreme, and add that instead of using your main contact, which I'm just going to do now, and fill out the same details as before and see if that does any better. So now obviously I have made this new like profile and I just want to go and test it out and see if anything's different. I did notice on Supreme when I clicked onto the email for Safari to autofill it, it did ask for a card, so maybe you do need to then add your card details in order for that to work, but if it comes down to it, I'll do that just to test the method further. So now I've obviously got the contact that I made up, which is literally just for Supreme London, and I click autofill and yeah, it does the same sort of thing. So if I added a telephone, then the telephone would add in, but definitely under email it says scan credit card, so I'm guessing you do need your card in there for that to work. But yeah, that is all it takes, to be honest. It's quite quick. When Supreme on the sort of computer side is messing up, it's definitely going to be quite a fast method to go through and use. I've never done it before, so maybe I will test it out at some point in time. If anything's ever lagging or if anything's ever messing up, I can just grab it and just try. But yeah, as the same as before, if you do want your details to stay there, like on the Google Chrome autofill, then you need to put in a false card and do the same sort of entering of details. If I just hit process payment a couple of times and see if anything happens, and then I'm going to close it and go back into it, then we will see if it has kept my details there. And yes, it has kept the details there from the last time, and obviously you can also tick the little remember address. So yeah, that is as easy as it gets. Hopefully I'm going to try and condense this because I've been recording for about 35 minutes, which is way over the time that I want to make this video. But yeah, for anything just to make it quick and easy for people, there'll be a comment in the comments section or in my pinned comment with just a nice description to all of this with simple steps just for people to go over. But if you enjoyed this video, like, be much appreciated. Other than that, comment down below what you use for drops, whether you use a bot, autofill, whether you go full manual, whether you use Safari autofill, or what you do in general. But yeah, other than that, thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace.